Welcome everybody to the Pop Culture Corner. I got my TV noise on. That was awesome, probably. Welcome to the show. I'm super excited. So we're definitely going to do this on Wednesdays on a weekly basis as a scheduled thing. It's my permanent day off finally. Finally have like a set schedule to work with. So a little bit more consistency is needed. And thank you everyone for always showing up and being faithful, whether you watch it live or rewatch it. As always, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, engage, become a part of the conversation. We try to include the audience as much as possible because you guys are the lifeblood, and I can't thank you enough. Got a good crowd today. Good crowd backstage. Before we do that, I did want to talk a little bit about something that means a lot to me. So I've been hearing, or there's been a lot of discussion about Ezra Miller and his future as the titular character, the Flash. And whether he's going to be recast. There's stories every day about what the future of that film is going to be, and everyone has opinion on what should happen to the kid, right? Everyone has an opinion whether he should be done, or I saw the report about Dylan O'Brien, which has obviously been debunked now. But in reality, what I think is needed is some time, and I know they delayed the film before the events of the what happened, but I think Warner Brothers saw the writing on the wall and just said, you know what, this kid's something's wrong, and who knows what's happening behind closed doors. Warner Brothers has been a company for as long as I can remember. They don't come out on stage and tell you exactly what's happening. They're not like Kevin Feige, right? So the creative process is much behind closed doors, if you will. Things leak out, of course, but maybe we shouldn't. There's a lot of people, and I bring it up because there's a lot of people preaching mental health, yet they write and run articles or slam the guy for. And I'm not defending what he did, and I'm not defending him at all. But I'm saying, what if you were him, right? What if you were at rock bottom, and what if you fell down and couldn't get up, or couldn't breathe, and the press is running every single article, or talking about you every single day, and you just can't clamor your way out of it, or move on, and at least try to do better. So for the people preaching mental health, let the kid get help. Maybe let it go, and let the guy get the help that he needs, and stop screaming at Warner Brothers, because they can only do so much. So that's just my PSA for the day. Welcome, Mr. MSK, whatever you are, whatever your name is, the movie Dogs, and Mr. Charlie Rage. How's everyone doing?
How you doing?
Hi.
Sorry, I just wanted to preach a little bit. I'm getting to that boiling point on it.
Preach away.
So that's just what I want to start off with. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think he should be? Then I don't want to talk about him too long, but do you think this has been blown out of proportion?
I believe so.
Or would you like to see someone else step into the role? And we'll leave it at that.
Well, me personally, I like Ezra Miller. I've actually already known of him before he was even Flash, when I didn't even know his name at the time. He was in an episode of the show Law and Order SVU as a drama student, of all things to play.
I remember that episode, actually.
Yeah. And
he's a really talented kid. He's really talented.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I really do. I just think that anything to do with. Do you ever notice that everything related to superhero movie gets analyzed and ripped apart and just beat to death? And you don't hear about it with comedy films or any other genre except ours, because we I don't know, maybe we care too much.
I think that could be it. We've got such a high standard for superhero movies the last 20 years because we've been given everything that we've been wanting.
Right.
And And the Flash is it's been a character that should have been a movie 30 years ago, and we hold that character very in high standards, and we love Barry Allen as a character.
He was a TV show almost 30 years ago, that's for sure.
Yep.
So-
I remember watching that the night that it aired too.
The John Wesley Ship one was a start, of course, in the 90s, but
I loved it.
I really do like, with the CW stuff, for instance. I was actually a little upset this Tuesday that Superman and Lois wasn't on, because the CW is the only network that does these stupid breaks. Like it's always like a break, like a 3-week break, 2-week break, and I was excited. And Superman and Lois is the first show that's excited me since maybe the Flash season, like season 1, season 2.
Because they got it right. That's why they've got the formula right for a Superman story.
Right.
And I mean that not since Christopher Reeve's '78 film.
Hi, Tiss.
Yeah.
I mean, not knocking the Henry Cavill or Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, because I think that is a very wonderful film.
Right, and I think I actually like Cavill's Superman. I think they're completely different stories, though.
Oh yeah,
they're completely different Supermen, if you will. Right. What Superman and Lois, the story that Superman and Lois is telling, is more of a family-oriented, like how to be a superhero and a dad, or have a family at the same time. Whereas Cavill's is like definitely the hero's journey. Right.
Well, that's the way Dean Cain was wanting the show to turn into when he was Superman on that Lois and Clark show, and.
Right.
But they're doing this so wonderful, and I'm really enjoying the writing.
I like the old Lois and Clark, show with Dean Cain that you were just saying.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out too, because since we're talking like the TV, show aspect as well as the movie aspect of like superheroes, and you notice some will go from like the smaller screen to the big screen. Example, Daredevil. Everybody wanted him in the new Spider-Man. But when it came to like, say, the Flash, why didn't they keep that specific guy from the show to play the Flash same way they, did the other stuff?
Yeah, I think it's just because of more or less the structure of Warner Brothers at the time. They don't like mixing TV with movies, and
they made that very, very clear in the beginning, which I thought was a dumb call.
Exactly, it was.
I to not leave that door open, especially when the way that the direction that both studios are going right now is that multiverse storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to shut that door so early on and to draw those hard lines, I guess it did, take some of the hope out of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think I don't think those CW characters are suited for the big screen, to be honest. That's my opinion. I don't think
they do have a shelf life.
And the writing, I just don't think that would translate well to film. Look, I couldn't picture Grant Gustin in a Flash, like a real role in a DCEU film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That it just wouldn't fit right for me. Neither could I see Superman from Superman and Lois. Tyler Hoechlin. Yeah, I just cough his last name out. So no, I don't think that any of those. But then the Marvel stuff, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like when they went from, like Coulson went from the film to TV, the Marvel side of it's always felt more, this could be on film as well, right? This character could jump in.
DC should do the same thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying the quality of the shows are much, much different.
True.
On the CW just doesn't have big budgets, and they've done pretty well with what they've got. But again, something about them doesn't feel like it would be able to mix.
Yeah, I think that things will probably do better once they start skimming down on the character, on the shows too. That they're canceling a lot of shows. But
they're all done. They're all the only two shows that are getting out of this alive are Superman and Lois and Stargirl. But Flash I think they have enough respect for the Flash that they're going to end it with another season. But after that, especially so the Warner Brothers upfront is next week. A lot of the upfronts are next week, where we get the baseline of what's going to happen. And I do think that the announcement will come that the CW stuff is done. and they're going to mainline everything to HBO Max.
Yeah.
So,
I thought not Disney, sorry, Discovery Plus. I thought they had a hand in the whole DC lineup now, to where they're going to start revamping everything, just basically.
Discovery is going to be no more. Probably a year from now, all that stuff will be on HBO Max, and maybe I know
it'll be a rebranded streaming service. They're
probably
going to combine Discovery and HBO Max into one big thing. Discovery Max, HBO Discovery. I have no idea what the hell they're.
I think it's going to be
like
I think it's going to be called
better.
Max. I think it's going to be called Max. That's it. Max
that
Plus
too.
maybe.
Max Plus. There you go.
Yeah. So, but. Yeah, and then that's because there were rumors of them renaming it again, which I don't think will bode well for the actual brand, because it's been through a lot of changes at a time when streaming is making in its infancy, if you will. But I did ask well, everyone except the two other guys, but I asked the other guys to bring a couple topics, so we'll start with Charlie's, because I do like yours a lot. So the Crow. So
yes.
I just read an article about what's going on, what's happening with that, because the reboot's been at limbo for what? How many years?
Almost a decade.
Quite a few.
I would say close to 15 years.
So what's going on with it?
Well, from what I understand is that, of course, they had many different people that they wanted to play the role of Eric Draven, and Bradley Cooper was one of them. I think Mark Wahlberg was approached at one point. The guy who played Gaston in the live-action Beauty and the Beast, he was meant to play the role at some point. And one of the more last two recents was supposed to be Jason Momoa.
Yeah, that's
and there is pictures of Momoa in behind the scenes makeup, and he actually didn't look that bad. He probably could have pulled it off.
I think he looks great as
oh yeah.
Yeah. I do. That's my opinion, I guess.
Oh yeah, and that surfaced. Everybody loved the look of Jason Momoa in the film, but sadly, due to creative differences, parted ways. And now the new possibility of rumor is that Bill Skarsgård, who was Pennywise in It, both 1 and 2, is the possible choice for Eric Draven.
That's awesome. I think that guy's so talented. I think he could. Those characters definitely fit him. The oddballs. Right?
I could see that.
Like Pennywise. Clearly, this character. And I think what I really want to know, and I don't know a lot about The Crow. I've never even seen the first one.
Great movie.
What happened? Why is this movie so popular?
It's one of your first rated comic book movies.
I know that he died. I get that he died. Like, how did it happen?
Well, it was also because, just as you said, because of his death, but also it came at the right time. It was coming close to Halloween when it came out.
Was it drugs? Or did something happen? Like
something happened on set. Like there was
the same thing that happened with Alec Baldwin.
Shit, really?
Yeah, Brandon Lee was shot on set by a dummy round that got lodged in the pistol.
Right.
And he they had him in, I think, surgery for several hours before they had to pronounce him.
Yeah.
It was the promising of what would have been a great career.
Because he was signed on for 3 films.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
it was just
related to the martial artist
Bruce Lee. That was his son.
Yeah.
No, get the God. How do I not?
Yeah, that's Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you've ever seen the movie Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren, then you know Brandon Lee.
And Rapid Fire was another good movie.
Rapid Fire 2, yes.
Wow. I had just watched that a week prior before what happened to him on the set of The Crow, and
he played the role perfect. And I've heard the other picks that they had before they actually said yes to Brandon. One of them was Johnny Depp, and the other was like Christian Slater.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad they didn't do Christian Slater.
But
I'm glad they didn't.
You get a chance, I watch this movie. I mean, and tell you,
I will. I've been honestly, I've been interested by
VHS.
It's
Yeah.
the best one of the bunch of
Oh.
the Crow movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
Ty,
far.
you're missing out if you haven't watched it, bro. Seriously.
No, I will.
I can see your Crow poster in the back, man. I love it.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
It's my favorite movie of all time, literally.
I know. I figured
Yeah.
you would weasel this topic in somehow.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I always hear about it.
Story about the night that I went to go see it on the sneak preview. That was a fun time.
That's cool though. Yeah, I mean, so I'd be interested to see the reboot and hopefully it's an origin story kind of, so I can, get involved with
It technically is.
It's not a continuation, right?
No.
Well, I mean, there are other films, but they're not tied to the Eric Draven story. The only ones are the first two. That's Eric Draven in a sense, but the sequel's more based on the child that was from the first one, named Sarah.
City of Angels. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Did you guys see? So I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for any news, with that, and definitely super excited to see whatever they do with it. And I, you're right. I probably am missing out. I have a hard time going back and watching older stuff after the fact. Like if I didn't get introduced to it when I was younger, I have a hard time now going back and watching it because obviously the quality is lesser, and it's like, sometimes even the dialogue and writing's hard. Like Star Wars, the originals, honestly, they're hard to watch. Like even if you love them,
I like them.
They're hard to watch. I did the whole marathon, when I think the first time I watched Star Wars, the because I didn't like it, I didn't care for the idea for most of until I was like 20. Someone made me sit down and watch them, and it was brutal. I was like, but I saw the good in it.
Yeah.
I saw what everyone liked in it, and I was like, oh, that, what? This is just people fighting in space, that like martial artists versus wizards in space. And I was like, I can dig this. There's a little green guy.
I could see that.
But,
I could see what you're saying right there for sure.
Yeah. So that's just me. And then, but yeah, I'll force myself to do it. I'll force it.
Well, I got a good question for you though. Is did you like Deadpool or even Joker for being rated R comic book movies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so The Crow is a rated R comic book movie. It is a gothic, like Romeo and Juliet type of story, but without the whole, actual being Romeo and Juliet. It's similar but dark.
Gotcha. All right.
It's a tragic love story.
I'll definitely check it out. Did you guys see the gameplay for Gotham Knights?
I did.
I did.
No, not yet.
I thought it looked pretty good. What's everyone crying about? I'm very confused at why
people are crying about the fucking costumes. They're crying about
everything. It's they said it looks bad. I thought it looked good. I thought it looked real. Again, I don't play video games too often. I actually play the Arkham games. That's pretty much it. And they're saying that it looks worse than a game from 2015. But when I go back and watch it, I'm like, this looks pretty good to me. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe my standards are low. I don't know. But I thought that then I did like the addition of he can so Red Hood, they gave him some weird power where he can shoot and jump it. Like that's how he jumps.
It's like kind of a force jump, kind of. That's the way they're justifying it. That he's brought back by some mystical assassin group. I'm not sure if it's. I think it's kind of sounds like the same group that wasn't quite the League of Assassins from.
So he definitely
traditional DC, but it's like something in that caliber. Whereas Nightwing gets kind of a fucking Fortnite glider.
I was like, yo, I want one of those. I was like, because then they did. I mean, they did it with Captain Carter too. So I was like, oh, that's funny. They both need that help with getting from building to they can't swing like Spider-Man. They need a little help. They need a little help from technology. That's no big deal. And listen, if anyone's gonna have it, it's gonna be Nightwing. I mean, he kills with Batman, so he's got the tech. So I don't know. For anyone who plays video games, I'd definitely be curious to know what you thought of the gameplay. Of these games, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights, biggest titles, in my opinion, coming out because their superhero games. So, you know, I want to keep my eye on them. What did you guys think? Overall, are you excited for them?
I mean, there's one valid criticism I will concede, and that's, you know, the idea of canceling them on current gen consoles, canceling it on PS4.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
That was a mistake.
Because I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 5 because I don't care about it.
I lucked out and got a PlayStation 5 like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not too pressed about it. But even
I'm
still,
just not,
like,
I'm not spending $500 on a console that I would literally be a Blu-ray player for me.
Right. I mean, there are some fun games, like I'm playing Ratchet and Clank and the updated version of Final Fantasy VII on it right now. But besides the point, like, it just sucks because they initially announced this game as, you know, an all across platformer type of deal. Like they were going to have it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, whatever the fuck it is called.
Right.
Anyway, but then they've got, like, you know, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. They outright said from the go that this is going to be next gen exclusive. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But now that they're this close to release and they're just like, nah, fuck it,
we're scrapping it.
Right, we're scrapping it on PS4 and Xbox One. It's like, you guys just love losing money, don't you?
Yeah. But my gripe with it is, if Sony can't put enough PlayStations out to actually get all their gamers them if they need them, you can't do that. Like that you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Use that Spider-Man money. Come on, Sony.
It really doesn't help with the scalping situation either, and the ship.
Yeah,
but you're right.
The buying 8 of them at a time and selling them, you know, online or whatever. You know, I think more people don't have them than have them still, right?
Yes.
Like if
what's crazy
I'm not talking about everyone in the world, but out of the people that want them, there's more that don't than do. So how are you going to go exclusive like that if you can't even get them the console?
Yeah, I had to spend a pretty penny to get mine. Like, I had to get mine through GameStop, and this was after like a good 2, 3, 4 days in total of like avidly searching, but for weeks and weeks and weeks. I was trying to wait on openings, and I was following on Twitter the PlayStation restock count, whatever. Majority of the restocks would happen when I was at work, so I was screwed either way until I finally got an email from GameStop like, hey, if you're a pro member, you can come and potentially get one on this day. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll give it a shot. I walked into GameStop 10 minutes before they closed, renewed my membership, asked very specific questions, and I was like, when are you guys opening? When would be the best time to show up? And the dude was like, you know, some people say they're going to be here at like 7:30. I was like, cool, I'll be there at 5.
Yeah.
And I showed up at 5:30 and was second in line and spent a fuck ton of money and got my PlayStation 5.
So. How much was it to get everything you needed?
So they were doing bundles, and that was the way they were getting around scalpers. Instead of just being able to buy, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 consoles at a time, you had to. It was one per customer, and you had to get a specific bundle. So I ended up getting a headset, 2 games, traded those 2 games in for games that I actually wanted to play, and I also traded in some games. So my total got knocked down by about $100. So I kind of lucked out.
I find gaming to be a very expensive habit more than collecting movies.
Collecting movies, comics, skateboarding.
The games that come out, I mean, they're like $60, $70 now.
Exactly, almost $100 a freaking game
for 2 discs, 3 discs, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Of course, the quality is getting so much better, but I don't know. I can't justify that. I
know the 20 years that I can't. 20 years that I worked in retail and everything. I would remember even from PlayStation 2 was coming out, managers would take a couple and set them aside for themselves, and they'll sell that second one.
Yeah.
So
those are just scumbags.
Oh, dude, when I worked at GameStop and they'd go off to conference, they'd come back with free consoles, or they'd come back with the promise of free consoles, and it's just like, fuck you.
Right.
I know. How do you get lucky, but I get crap? You know.
Yeah.
Shit rolls downhill. That's why.
And the thing is, like, we wouldn't even get the option to pre-order said consoles because the day they would go for pre-order, people would be working, and if you were the only one who had to work, you were fucked because the
we only made 5,000 copies.
GameStop can barely stay open. They can't afford to give those things away for free. What the fuck are they thinking?
Well, that's the thing. Like, they go to the conference, and it wouldn't even be GameStop giving them all the shit. It would be
Crazy Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
It would be like the developers and the publishers. So like they were getting these consoles and shit from Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony themselves. It wouldn't necessarily be GameStop. They were gifts from them. You know.
Okay.
I was just lucky to get away with the displays that they would have in the stores. Those giant displays.
Yeah, honestly, I've gotten a couple of movie posters from GameStop that they were getting rid of. I don't know why they have movie posters in there, but
Go to your theater and ask for the same thing. You can actually ask them when they're going to get rid of their posters, and you can get lucky and get some of them.
Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Charlie.
Huh.
Settle down. This is not my first rodeo. The theater.
So you have done it. Okay, good.
The theater attendants know my name. You sit back in that chair, okay? My theater, they have, when I walk in, they bow down and they have bundles of shit ready for me.
No,
I'm
sorry.
I'm just kidding. They do not do
Local
that.
video stores were like that with me and my brother.
No,
They would have posters ready for us at the well.
Yeah, I work with the theater. Showcase is my. I mean, Showcase bought me. Showcase pays for my hotspot because they don't have internet. That's the only one drawback. So, yeah, I mean, the theater has been really kind to me. And support your local theaters. Speaking of, Doctor Strange opens with a large amount of money. I assume everyone here has seen it by now.
3 times.
Yeah.
Twice.
Just we're all good. Okay.
No.
It's been spoiled a lot on the internet. I noticed.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's almost worse than Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that's the thing is it gets worse every movie. The internet, I don't know, the comic book movie community just sucks. It's like why do we do this? Why do we just ruin everything for each other? It's just always a fucking fight or like a one up. So everyone's so quick to be the first one. It drives me fucking
I had to stay off
crazy.
YouTube for a week and everything because of this.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
I
I know. It kept popping up left and right. It's just driving me crazy.
I feel like there were less spoilers for this one before the movie opened, though. Like I went into this like not knowing anything. Whereas
but I think that's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of things being that the studio is tightening its fucking belt. Like, you know what I mean? I think that leaks are the studio's got to find a way to combat it somehow. I don't know how, but they have to figure it out. I hate to be that, you know what I mean? I hate, because I think it's what we do, or, you know, what we all like to do is talk about these things. So when we're waiting for a movie, and it's nice to get that little information because it gets you a little bit further, you know, until the movie comes out. But we're ruining shit for ourselves by that mentality. And so it's like a blessing and a curse. So it's counterproductive for me to say it, but I really do think the studios need to combat it. They need to figure out some, like, phones can't be on set. And then I don't know. I don't, because people remember shit, obviously, you know, it's like, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. It's sad. I
mean, the Krasinski thing had been talked about for super long. I was talking about this with the guys backstage. I think that was Feige being smart and testing the waters.
Yes,
sure
that's 100% what that was.
Yeah, making sure that this is gonna fit. And then
my theater, they freaking clapped.
Yeah, if it didn't work, you can explain it away with the multiverse. But he's not the 616, Richard. That's just it. So it was super smart.
I didn't like that they made the MCU Marvel Universe 616 personally, because I felt like
why
616
better than 666.
616 is
the comic book
books. Yeah, so
oh, you think that the comic book community should? I mean, sorry.
The comics should be 616, and the MCU should be something alternative to the comics.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're saying there. I think that is because they did pass through a paint dimension.
Right.
So who's to say the comic dimension doesn't exist?
Exactly.
Oh, actually, you know what? You're so right about that. I didn't even think about that. That's so on point that it's not even funny. The MCU should not be 616. God, you just ruined Doctor Strange for me.
Sorry.
I no longer like the film. No, I'm just kidding. But what did you guys think the cameo would? So what did you think of the? I think it should have been 30 minutes longer. I think that a lot of it needs.
It should have been longer.
It should have been a little bit longer. I think it needed time to breathe. After I've seen it like 3 times now. Who said 3?
I did. I've seen
Yeah.
it 3 times. It's my number 5 movie in the MCU.
Jesus.
Yeah.
My
Did
number
you think
3.
that? Did you think what?
I haven't thought about it that much, but it's pretty damn high up for me. It would be definitely in my
Not
top
number
10.
3.
Top 3, I would say.
Oh my God.
My
And
number 1's the very first Doctor Strange.
Civil War. No,
That's
no,
my
no. I'm
number
sorry,
2.
not
That
Civil
was
War.
my number 1 until Spider-Man No Way Home came out.
Yeah,
Oddly
Winter
enough-
See, No Way Home
Soldier.
is my second.
Winter Soldier.
You have good taste.
Yes, Winter Soldier's mine.
Winter Soldier's number 1 all day.
I think Winter Soldier's my number 3. Now that I think
Yeah.
about
See,
it.
oddly enough, the original Doctor Strange is in like my bottom 4. I didn't
Yeah.
really care
Really?
for it, and
Yeah.
I
It's
like
the
this
most
one a lot.
comically accurate, though.
I have it
Yeah.
at like a midpoint. I think that because I have them all. I have it in a notebook.
Nothing will
Like,
ever be lower than Thor Ragnarok for me. That movie is terrible.
Yeah.
For
no,
Ragnarok,
because
I hate
Captain
that
Marvel.
movie.
not the Dark
Captain
World?
Marvel exists. So there
This is
it
true.
is. That's the end. That's the last movie in the bracket.
See,
Captain
I
Marvel?
firmly like
That's a
4 or
good
5
one.
Terrible
above.
But
film.
who's excited for the new one, Love and Thunder?
Thor's.
Oh, I thought you
all
meant.
the
I
Thors.
thought
were
you meant the
good.
Marvels, not Thor.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder.
I know. That's what I thought he was going to say too.
I like the first Thor one because Kenneth Branagh is a really good director. So
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
Thor's amazing. I love that movie.
I am really, really looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder.
I am too.
There are
Yeah.
2 reasons why I'm looking forward to that movie: Christian
Hit me.
Bale, Natalie Portman. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. And then you got how many more reasons can we name? Probably 10 more, right? Chris Pratt,
Russell Crowe plays Hercules, I think, or
like,
something. No,
Taika-
Zeus.
Tycho
Taika
coming
Waititi.
back. Yeah,
All you
like,
got to say is
all of them.
Taika Waititi, and I'm
No,
there.
because he's
He's the problem.
he. I'm not necessarily a super fan of the direction he took with Thor, being more comedic than anything. Because Thor's like such a
Yeah.
serious character most of the time.
I don't think he took it. I don't think he made Thor more comedic though, because the original Thor movie from the Kenneth Branagh one was very comedic as well.
but tastefully.
Nowhere near
comedic.
on the same level as Thor.
I was about to say
Tasteful.
not as much.
Like, no, don't get me wrong. Thor's journey as Thor in the MCU obviously is going to be a little bit more comedic. The guy's he's come a long way, but he's also been through some fucking terrible shit. Or everyone in his life has either died or, Loki, is off doing his own thing. Like, his mother died, his father died, Jane left him. Like, and then
they humbled him.
Yeah, and then Thanos and everything that happened to Thor. I get why he's lighthearted, right? Because that's the MCU spirit. But Thor should be like he should be like our father at this point, right? Like he's like the old elder, the elder Avenger. Maybe not the strongest Avenger, but he's the elder Avenger. Like he should, be the Iron Fist of keeping this together. That's the way I think we should be looking at him, like almost looking up to him rather than like, oh, he's just an Avenger, right? Like you could take a selfie with this guy. But that's me. Hulk as well. Hulk is very troubled, and I'm not troubled, but I'm interested to see what his story and how it goes forward. What are their roles going to be? Going forward in the MCU, because they're really the only Avengers that made it out.
Yeah.
With Hawkeye, who's on Disney Plus. So I really like the MCU though. I hate that people that make fun of it.
I make fun of certain movies in the MCU, not the MCU as a whole. That's just
There's DC people that make fun of it all.
My least favorite movie in the MCU, which by the way is Eternals, but is still I think a good movie. Like the worst they have to offer,
I agree.
I still like.
I agree. I do agree with you. Even Captain Marvel, I enjoy. Like there were parts I enjoyed. I got through the film with a smile, but it just didn't resonate.
And that's one I loved. I remember I saw that one 4 times in the movies.
Oh God, I don't know.
That was in the bottom 5, but it's at the top of the bottom 5.
Yeah, it was
more nostalgia for me. Seeing her crash into that blockbuster and
but
certain 90s tropes here and there, but I mean,
so by the way, I've been thinking now correct me if I'm wrong, but if Maria Rambeau is Captain Marvel in 838 and her call sign was Photon, how did they come up with the Avengers in 838? because
That's the thing. They're not called the Avengers. They're called the Illuminati in 838.
No, the Illuminati is it's a conjuring of the leader of the X-Men, the leader of
Sure.
So, but they didn't necessarily say. You're right. I get where you're going with it. We don't know if the Illuminati is just the Illuminati, and that's like, all the mutants, all the Avengers. I see where you're going with it, but typically the Illuminati has one of each category, like a mutant, a sorcerer.
It's the top minds of everyone on Earth in one sector of it. You're right.
But they don't. And there's an empty chair, which I think would be Superior Iron Man.
Superior Iron Man, Black Panther, or Namor. One of the three.
Yeah. So, which led me to, but it was just a little like thing I was thinking about. Like, how did
I don't think the Illuminati ever mentioned the Avengers, though. Maybe in that dimension they're called the Photons.
Maybe. Imagine. I'd be like, what the hell is going on? But there was a lot of cool things that I've been thinking about. But that's what Doctor Strange did. It gave you a lot to think about. Like, are we going to see these characters again? Are we going to get? If you think about it, if there is Avengers, right? There's other Avengers. They're gonna walk into that building and for whatever reason to take over to clean up. They're gonna see everybody dead. Who are they gonna blame? Wanda. So they're gonna go after she's gonna be. Are we getting a House of M storyline on 838? Maybe potentially. Because everyone's gunning for Wanda. Every single hero on that Earth 838 is now considering Wanda, the biggest threat ever, and we just left her there.
And the ironic part is that Wanda is still alive with her children, so she would be the de facto enemy in that.
De facto, just by association, they don't care who's who. They already fucking threw Strange under the bus.
But who's going to know? They're all dead now. who's left to tell the tale?
The Ultron.
I mean, there's the X-Men because Professor X was in that universe. There's the rest of the Fantastic Four. Sue Storm.
Someone's going to go clean that building up, whether it's the janitor or fucking Sue Storm.
I'll tell you this: the statue of Doctor Strange in that universe. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a statue of actor Peter Hooton, who played Doctor Strange on the old 1978 TV movie. I'm like, that would have been a really nice little callback.
Oh, also, Carl Mordo's still alive in 838.
Yes. And he's gonna tell. Right there. We already know that story's being. I forgot about so he made it out. Yep. And. Yeah, I just think that maybe could we see now? I know this is crazy, but could we see an MCU movie based without not on 616? Because I guess we're gonna designate it 616. Could we ever see a Marvel movie that was like in the 838? I don't know. I think that's a possibility now. Like a whole movie, right? That we're just on.
That would be interesting.
I think it would be a super cool thing to do. You could bring back guys like Iron
that
Man.
Is not a what if episode.
It's a good way to reboot if they ever want to reboot. If they ever needed to,
yeah.
Yeah, if they want to do another Iron Man movie and they can get a new actor as Iron Man and this is on one of the other Earths.
Exactly. This at the beginning of the next, say whatever day they decide, let's just call it next week they decide to reboot. And we get the first movie a month after that. At the beginning, it would be like on Earth 838. Like they would make a clear indicator and just start the story over again, which could be cool. I think I really do. And I think that's a good way. Maybe Days of Future Pasty, but who knows? I think that'd be a good way to bring back characters you want to, but also recast characters you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Could we have the MCU for the rest of eternity?
Probably.
Do you think so? Do you think superhero genre will die out?
No, at least not anytime soon.
What do you guys think?
I'll have superheroes more than my dad was in my life, so that's a good thing to know.
Oh my god, dude! Come on.
Even if it does die out, it'll come back. Everything goes through cycles.
It's pretty inevitable. It's going to come to an end.
Like westerns, yeah. Everyone always compares the superhero genre to westerns. Oh, it'll die out like the western.
How many years did it take us to get Ghostbusters 3? I mean, it's just a matter until somebody says, let's revive that thing.
Right. Yeah, Batman.
Well, there's supposed to be a number 4.
Well, right now for movies, other studios are competing as they try to with comic book movies. You know, Paramount's actually had a pretty good year this year so far.
Dude, the Halo show is pretty good. I really like it.
It's really.
I really like it.
They're about to hit $1 billion with Top Gun Maverick. Watch.
You know,
Do
I
you
think
guys
Paramount's
like Halo?
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Halo. I've seen all the episodes so far. Yeah,
it's been really good. Actually,
I'm waiting until it's all out so I can binge it.
Every single Paramount movie that is opened in 2022 has been #1 at the box office.
Right. Lost City, Scream, Jackass, Forever. Paramount's actually had a really good year, despite being, because you know how like there's big three like Warner Brothers, Disney, and like Sony or Universal. And there's like the Master Stepchild. You have Lionsgate, and you have Paramount, and you have like Universal. You know, Universal's actually pretty big. No one considers Universal like a strong player in this.
What movies from Paramount were #1?
Scream 5, Sonic, Lost City, Jackass Forever.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it.
All very well. Yeah.
And Top Gun Maverick's about to bring them in bank. Watch.
Oh yeah.
So wait, Top Gun is Paramount?
Yeah. Because Tom
Cruise was the original.
It's a Paramount title. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna clean house this year.
Paramount's had a really good year.
Yeah, they're gonna clean house this year.
That movie was supposed to be out 2 years ago.
This was a studio like that was on the verge of bankruptcy, and they're suddenly just this year's like a huge comeback story for them.
I think it's an awesome story too, because I really do. Now that I'm thinking about it, all right, they got decent stuff. Like they have decent IPs.
Let's never forget the current CEO of Paramount, Brian Robbins, was one of the stars of the film Chud 2 Bud the Chud.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Settle down over there, bro.
Yeah, they've been doing some good stuff. You know, they put out the tweet that they're gonna pretty much overhaul their Transformers franchise.
That's what I've been waiting for. A clean reboot of Transformers.
Is like a Beast Wars movie. I guess.
I don't want them to reboot Transformers. I just want them to throw out everything except Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is so
I just want
good.
G1. Yes, it was.
I thought Bumblebee was pretty weak.
Oh man, I loved Bumblebee. I love Bumblebee so
Bumblebee
much.
was pretty weak.
Slate of movies start with Bumblebee, so Bumblebee's the start of something new. So that was supposed to be like what a continuation of that universe, but they declared it a reboot because people liked it to a certain extent. They did. So as the Beast will be the sequel to that movie, so maybe Haley Steinfeld comes back, and she's really attractive, so bring her back. Like
she's going to be a good draw. Yeah, but she's going to be a good draw now, you know, because of Hawkeye. You know? So you know she'll put asses in seats if they do something.
Also, Paramount announced they're going to do that Quiet Place spinoff movie, and you have Quiet Place Part 3. They're actually a lot of people are sleeping on Paramount. They've been doing a lot of great stuff, and they still have Mission Impossible until 2024 until that final.
And Scream 6.
Is
coming next year.
They just announced today that the one girl that everyone likes from Scream 4 is coming back.
Hey Pants. Yeah. Yes, Soul Hey Pants.
That's actually that's pretty exciting.
Actually, speaking of that, I believe that was one of Joe's topics, so maybe you can bring that.
Yeah. Hey Pants, Hayden Pantier, or as we call her on my channel, Hey Pants, was in Scream 4 as.
Why do you call her Hey Pants?
Yeah, why? Can you
her
explain
first
that?
name is
Hayden. I can't.
Because her first name is Hayden and her last name is Pantier. So Hey Pants.
And it's here.
Yeah. There you go.
Pantieri.
I get. Okay.
It's like Joey Pants.
I get it now.
It's an Italian last name.
Yeah. So Hey Pants played a character named Kirby in Scream 4. Everybody loved Kirby. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, bring back Kirby." And then she did not come back. Her character's her fate was ambiguous at the end of Scream 4. Most people thought she was dead, but we didn't actually see her die. And then there was a little Easter egg in Scream 5 where a YouTube video said like Survivor Kirby talks about the killings or something, which it was like, aha, she lived. And now she's coming back. So
yeah. Okay. So, and I haven't seen, what was the last thing she did? Because she was really popular like at one point, and then she kind of just fell off.
The last thing I saw of hers was a movie called I Love You, Beth Cooper.
She was on a show too.
Law and Order.
Yeah, that was it. Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I do remember that one.
She was also in Heroes.
Yeah.
Heroes, dude. Heroes is so fucking underrated.
Yes, it is.
It is so underrated. I would love. I know they did that. Whatever season after.
Reborn.
Yeah, Heroes Reborn. Whatever. I don't know. I was like, okay, it was cool. But
the great tragedy of Heroes is that season 4 is probably the best season, and everybody checked out at season 3 because season 3 sucked.
Yeah.
So everyone checked out. Nobody watched season 4, and it's like I kept telling people, no, this show got crazy good again. You guys just stop watching it.
Like all the loose ends started getting tied up, and I was like, okay, this is what I wanted. And it's been a while. I couldn't even tell you, what happened in that show now because it was so long ago.
Season 3 had so many plot holes.
And the way it ended, I feel like it had a Dexter ending, one that just didn't satisfy. And that's the biggest, I guess that's one of the hardest things to do is end a show like that. End like Game of Thrones. Like what series is ended on a note that everyone was like, well, that was good.
Sons of Anarchy. A lot of
I do have a couple, obviously. But
Newhart.
Mr. Robot.
Trend that TV shows end up like bad. There's a trend that TV shows just never really have good endings. How I Met Your Mother's ending was bad. Lost's ending was bad.
Because the studio gets greedy. If they have a hit, they want to milk it for all it's worth, and they don't end it where they should. Like Supernatural, Lost.
I was disappointed with Supernatural's finale. I
really,
really
everyone
was.
in the world was. There's not
well,
one person that
it's just the nature. It's easy to start something. It's hard to finish it.
Yeah. I mean, Supernatural's finally getting a spinoff. So there were supposed to be 2 other spinoffs that happened, and they had backdoor pilots on Supernatural. One was Bloodlines.
Wayward Sisters, yeah.
Yeah, and then Wayward Sisters, which Wayward Sisters never should have been considered. It should there are so many other good spinoffs that you could get to before that.
I disagree. I was really upset they didn't do I was disappointed they didn't do Wayward Sisters.
No. I mean, Kim Rhodes is a friend of the show. She's been on. I would love to see her be the motherly figure in something like that. Especially because the way it all ended, they were the ones that lived. Most of the people that knew Sam and Dean perished. So anyone that made it alive is, I guess, a good candidate for a spinoff. But Wayward Sisters if that was the one that made it, I would have been disappointed.
That's one of those shows that should have made a movie, like after season 5, like what the X-Files did.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. People say that all the time, and I don't. Again, with the CW, it's the quality from going to TV to film. It just doesn't sit right with me. And I don't know if Supernatural is big enough for the big screen.
Oh, Supernatural's definitely big enough for the big screen.
If they did it rated R, yes, I'd be all in.
And
I'd be all in, sure, yes, definitely.
Well, I'd be all in either way because I fucking.
But who would you want to direct it? That would be the question. Who would you want to direct the perfect Supernatural movie as a so-called finale for you, since you're a big fan?
Jensen Ackles.
To direct?
Yes. He
Really?
directed many of the best episodes Supernatural ever had. He was behind the camera for them. Some of the best moments in Supernatural, Jensen was behind
I'd have to agree with you.
The director. Obviously he wasn't behind the camera the moments, that he was on screen, but that's not what a director always does. He's not every director is Zack Snyder, so
I was about to say big director name,
if they brought someone in, I don't know.
I don't think that something like that should have a big name director. I think get someone who knows the show.
The show, right?
Take for example, like you look at Star Trek. Look at the Star Trek franchise. The best movies were the ones directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Exactly.
Who knew the material.
The people that know the material because they know. Yeah, super. Yeah, exactly. I agree hard, man. And it's always nice when, Ben Affleck's a great example. I really would have loved to see what he did with Batman after BVS and after, Justice League. I would have loved to see what he had in store. And I'm glad that we did get Robert Pattinson's Batman because I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. Almost too much. Right? I caught myself the other day.
That's why it got so good.
Yeah, I was watching it the other day, and I kept looking at my my phone. I almost said looking at my watch, even though I kept looking at my phone like, damn, I don't want this to end. Like, how many more minutes do I have? And then I pause it and check. I'm like, shit, we're getting it towards the end. I was getting upset that it was ending. I wanted more from the universe. And I think that's any good film. That's what it shouldn't.
A sequel is confirmed.
Yeah, you shouldn't go into watching anything like that with the expectations of a sequel, right?
Right.
Mhm.
At any moment, it could be over.
They're trying to bring Mr. Freeze in.
I think
That's the rumor.
I think
I don't even know if
everyone's
that's
on
a
the
rumor,
docket.
but it's like everyone wants that to be the case.
Yeah, and because
I would only want that to be the case if they don't try to make him realistic. That would really. I hated
this universe is realistic.
I hated the Batman movie though so much. Like,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Wait,
I
what?
don't. I hated the Batman so much. Like,
Really?
it's one of those movies. It's like I wanted to love it. I love the director. I love Matt Reeves. I love Batman.
Interesting.
But I hated that movie. It was 3 hours that felt like 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit more?
Well,
I was about to say, yeah.
Because
First of all,
I respect your opinion, by the way.
I hate realistic Batman. Like,
Okay.
Why?
I don't want my
Because he's a
Batman.
character.
Yeah,
like,
I
to
don't.
pause you a little bit. I understand where everyone's like that argument is at least valid because the comic book like character, the Batman, it's not a realistic place. It's
Right.
a place that lives and breathes and spits out the worst of the worst.
Right. Like Batman is realistic on a sliding scale. He's
So you
realistic
hate the Dark
to-
Knight trilogy too, then?
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
I'm not
about
crazy
that trilogy
about
at
it
all.
either.
Batman Begins, I think, is the best of the three
because the way Gotham was portrayed was a lot more like it's
A lot like
pinnacle.
New York.
Yeah, it's a pillar.
Yeah.
A pillar of Batman is for Gotham. It always needs to be a character in itself. Gotham lives, it breathes. It, like I said, it is so integral to the story. So when Nolan chose to do that realistic city vibe, something was missing. Obviously, The Dark Knight is iconic, right? But that's mostly for Heath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree on that part. It's only because of his death, in my opinion. Like, if he had not died, would people really say the same thing?
Yeah, they will. His performance was.
Well, they were talking about. Yeah, they were talking about Oscar buzz before he died. So
that his performance was, regardless of the outcome, was downright unforgettable. Like it's, I don't think that his death, it definitely added to it. Like that's obvious. We don't get it twisted. Of course, it added to it because people, I don't want to say it, but people love the dead. Like, even people that, never know someone or they, it's an actor they like. People come out of the woodworks and confess their love for this person, all the time. I've seen it so much on Facebook and other platforms. So yes, his death definitely attributed towards people's feeling towards the character.
Well,
Chadwick,
think
another one was
the
Chadwick
same
Boseman.
thing when you watch The Crow, then, because
Well, another one's Chadwick Boseman. People that you never talked about him before, never cared for
Oh,
him
yeah.
before. They were all like, oh, and that's okay. Of course, it's a tragic loss. It's a person that we actually, that you can relate to on screen. And for a lot of the community, Chadwick was a real life king, right? Like that was their hero, and that was cool to see. But it's really sad when an actor passes away and leaves you wanting, or what do you think they're going to recast him, or do you think they'll just?
Once Wakanda Forever comes out, we'll know how they're going to play it.
They've said they're not recasting
obviously
him.
How are they going to do this movie? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I really am confused on how it's happening.
I fundamentally disagree that you couldn't recast him. Like, people just get all in their feelings, and it's not real money you're invested into. Like, by Kevin Feige saying you shouldn't recast, they won't recast T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman. It's him basically saying that no other black guy could play it that way, which is that's factually fundamentally wrong.
Right.
That way of
So
thinking.
I'm really glad you said that, because that's what I think.
I find that disrespectful. I find it
They gotta
disrespectful to
move on
Chadwick Boseman. Like, Chadwick Boseman wouldn't want that character to die. Like,
Chadwick didn't do
I agree.
And you know what? Obviously, rest in peace, Chad. Your performance was incredible. But keeping that a secret for that long, maybe hurt this franchise because it just on a dime happened.
Yeah.
Maybe if he had told them, like, listen, this is what's going on, I might, it's this serious. They could have at least figured something out. But again, I guess that's not his concern at that point. So it's like hard to say. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. It's hindsight. It's 2020.
Yeah. It's one of these things where like people assume that people just get all invested into the actor more than the character itself. Like I know these because every other scenario that I brought up to people that I talked to, it's the same thing. Like people moved on from Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, pretty fine. People moved on from Toby to Andrew Garfield. When it happened, fine. People moved on from Andrew Garfield to Tom Holland within 2 years of a time span. 2 years. That is not very long. Right. And everyone forgot about Andrew Garfield. They were like, okay, Tom Holland's the new guy. Why can't that happen with this guy? And the way people try to phrase it, it's just all a bunch of semantics. What happens is you can change the person out and it works out just fine because the MCU fans are going to support it anyway. If any MCU fan says they're not, they're capping out their ass. They're going to watch the movie opening Thursday night if it was a new guy playing Black Panther. Now, I don't envy the new guy that would play Black Panther because that's a lot of pressure on the one guy to have.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. People got to move on. His brother said on TMZ a while ago, they had him on for an interview. He said his brother would love for the character to continue. That is so selfish for no other black man to be able to play Black Panther like that.
Yeah, they gotta push forward. I mean,
especially when you're telling multiversal stories. Sorry, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like don't get me wrong. I'm happy that they had like say big name like celebrity names in the Black Panther movie, but at the same time, I'm thinking. Are like say people that are truly African not good enough to be the actual say Black Panther?
Yeah,
like actually supporting their real culture because they live there, they breathe it, they see it.
Yeah. Anyone not think Idris Elba could be a good Black Panther? Everyone think he'd be a great Black Panther, but the problem is they're basically just going, nope, no one else is good enough but him, and that's just wrong. Even he himself would never think that because that's just wrong. That's just the wrong way of looking at things.
Yeah, I think he's a little too old though.
He's in a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Maybe Jamie Foxx.
Like someone else.
Yo, Wayne T. Carr could play.
I mean, Idris could have been Black Panther, like the father, basically. If you were going to cast him in any role for that, he could play the dad.
Idris gets fan cast all the time, and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, is he the only black actor out there?
I would find David Ajala.
Yeah, him and God, what's the other guy?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, thank you. Him and Michael B. Jordan just get fan cast as any black character. I'm like, come on, let's get creative, all right? They're not the only black guys in Hollywood.
Hell yeah!
Hey, but they're making that money. I don't think they're complaining.
Look, MSK's right there. He could play these characters.
I could barely be in porn movies.
Okay, I think on that note, I'm gonna take off for the night and get ready for bed. I got work in the morning. Thanks for the invite, Ty. It's always a blast talking to you guys. Have a good one, guys.
Right. Later, man. I didn't even read it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. You guys take it easy.
Taking it back to we were talking about The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger. I remember when he died, we saw the same thing with the Joker. There were fans going, they need to retire the Joker. Nobody else can play the Joker now. Yeah, and it's like, the Joker it's a character that was originated in 1940. The character's much older than Heath Ledger. Like, I always say Heath Ledger wasn't the wheel. He was a spoke in the wheel.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I love The Dark Knight. And I always tell people, like, there's always other people that can play these characters. Like, people got to stop attaching themselves to actors and actresses like they're theirs. Like
Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder Justice.
It's just like the James Bond character.
Got to just move on. That's life itself. Life moves on, whether you want to or not. And I'm glad Hollywood does these things where you got to force people to move on because you can't just live in the past. I don't like Joker. I thought he's terrible, but he exists now. That's just what we get. There's gonna be another Joker. He was what Joaquin Phoenix. He was all right for what he did. He was good. Just people who didn't even know they wanted Joaquin Phoenix now have him, and they're like, "Oh, he's the best." I like having.
He had to grow on me.
Yeah, like I like having other options to pick from than just the one guy. People say right now RDJ is the only guy who can play Iron Man. People are like, the moment they even announced that the rumor was Tom Cruise would be even in Multiverse of Madness, so like, no, Tom Cruise can't do it. Why can't Tom Cruise be Iron Man? He's a great actor. It's not like they're picking out the bins of the trash can for dudes. They went and got a great guy.
He would have done it in 20 years ago, or if not back in the late 90s.
Yeah, but I was gonna say because
It's
he was one of the original like choices for Iron Man.
Yeah,
That's why that rumor, had some cadence to it, I suppose.
It was actually true. The writers said they wanted him.
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. I just think maybe we need to let Iron Man. I think we need to let Iron Man rest for a little bit.
Well, it's more or less. So they'll probably think about how the MCU fans would resonate with it. Like, would they support a new guy? It's like, who cares what they want? They're gonna support it anyway. That's how they are. They put in something. They like the MCU. They're already invested into the brand. You throw in Iron Man, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Give it time to build up. They do it with every other character. But would anyone really want Haley Steinfeld as Hawkeye? They let it. You gotta just throw it out there and see if it works. If it doesn't, you just take it back.
Yeah, and we're getting the Ironheart series, so I think that's the next Iron thing that we're gonna see. Like that, they want that. That's they're hinging on that to be the start of something new. So to overshadow that by bringing an Iron Man back a little bit too soon. His death was a turning point for the MCU as a whole. So to just bring that back this quick, it takes a little bit of the weight away. That's why we, I saw again, I retweeted it today, a post about a Captain America series on Disney Plus. Like, someone called it, what was the title? They used The Last Mission. I think that would be a great idea. Fucking great idea. A little Disney Plus miniseries about his trip back. I think that'd be really fun to watch.
That would do well.
Is it a
like
good
a little
idea?
short miniseries? Yeah.
But is it a good idea right now? No. Let the MC. Yeah, you guys. I think you guys have already said it collectively that the current phase has not wowed us to date. Maybe Spider-Man No Way Home.
It's just a lot of.
I don't think I'd agree with that. Other than the Eternals, I think I've liked everything they've. Oh, I didn't care for Moon Knight.
Is not in question. It's
it's about driving it forward. It just feels like it's introducing all these characters. It's like transition, introducing, and kind of setting up. It feels like the setting up phase, and we're still trying to figure out where the hell we're going to be going. Like, what's the overall concept?
But I guess that's the thing. I don't care where we're going. My attitude is, how are the individual movies? If I take each one of them as an individual, I've enjoyed the crap out of each one, with the except not so much Eternals, but I
agree. That was really bad. That was terrible.
I didn't mind it. It
wasn't as bad as everyone said it was, but it wasn't.
It was enjoyable, but it wasn't great.
Good. Yeah, it was not.
If anything, it was the cinematography that had people liking it, because from what I understand, they didn't really heavy CGI'd it for green screen effect. Where it's usually in a studio, that they actually went to these locations and filmed.
I love the action.
Yeah, I was about to say, because people love the cinematography of it, but they may not like the actual, say, story.
The actual story is just like really
cookie cutter MCU.
That's the thing. It's like, if a plot of a movie's bad, that movie sucks, because the story is how you hold the movie together. The story,
that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the movie.
The story sucks. That movie, Eternals, is actually really, if you actually break it down, it's pointless. The way the movie structures itself, it's like they're kind of here for what reason? Because their idea was, we'll do Eternals like it was Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll have an underrated group of team come out, and they might have the same effect they had before. It's not gonna, like, you can't have lightning strike twice in a bottle like that, because these are people that people just genuinely didn't know about. Like, and not even just know about. Even when, as you look through the history of the Eternals, no one cared about them when they first came out. So they brought a group of people that no one even cares about from comic book inception. That's like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah.
Guardians was lightning the bottle, and people get lucky once. That's happened. You get lucky once, you just take it for what it is. They try to do it again, it didn't work out. Plus, what's way worse characters. Gemma Chan is horrible as a leading actress. She is horrible. She can't lead any movie. I've seen a bunch of movies she's in. She's bad. I think she's probably the worst leading lady MCU character ever.
Well, I think that with the Eternals, what went wrong is they wanted to introduce these characters, more so than they wanted to tell a good story. It's like they made this movie with the thought of what's going to come next, rather than focus on, and that's what I always say is, it's a bad starting point. Like Venom. Venom is the biggest example I can give you. They want you, they want to have this character around, so they rush the introduction to with the thought of they need to be in this next thing. So they lose focus, and it becomes like Eternals is very much cookie cutter Marvel
Yeah,
but
I was disappointed with Venom Let There Be Carnage for sure. I like the first one better.
I loved both
bad.
of the I loved both of the Venom movies.
Oh,
I think both Venom movies were much.
Oh yeah,
I preferred the second one because the second one at least had a direction. The first one is just completely like I don't even know why they even exist, honestly.
No. You guys got that backwards because they made the second one more like a slapstick comedy that had no need for that type of humor at all. When the first one was trying to be a little bit more darker and grim of a story, and the second one was just kind of like, I'm in pop culture. Hell yeah.
Didn't even do Carnage right, which was honestly expected.
Venom,
I mean, as soon as it was rated PG-13, I knew that okay, they're not doing Carnage right.
Yeah, Venom 2 is very much a post-credit scene in a 2-hour span.
That was the only meaningful thing that came out of that movie, but then even that became pointless.
I see Venom 2 as a love story between a man and his symbiote.
Yeah. My thing here is I don't like watching movies that completely invalidate what you're watching. Like Eternals and Morbius are the clear examples of it. In Eternals, Hashiram comes out and he's like, he tells the story about how he's born and what they do with Celestials and all this stuff, right? So they're trying to stop the Celestial from coming out of the earth. He himself could stop all of them from doing this, but he doesn't do it. That means what you're watching invalidates itself because you know this character can stop whatever he's doing right now. That's not even suspending your disbelief. That's just bad writing. The character can literally stop them all from moving their bodies, but he just doesn't let the Celestial come out. Same thing happens in Morbius. The end credits into Morbius. What we know, Morbius doesn't want to hurt people. We know he's kind of a good guy. That's the balance between Morbius as a villain. He doesn't want to be a villain.
Anti-hero.
Yeah. So Morbius, from what we know, this movie is not a bad guy, quote unquote, right? So he's going to agree to fight someone he doesn't know from someone he also doesn't know because the movie doesn't show you they know each other. From when we know him as a character, he's not going to hurt anyone. Like that's just completely ridiculous. That movie. That's why I don't like movies that invalidate what you're trying to set up because I saw the post credits and I was like, wait, he's going to agree to fight someone he doesn't know, and he's going to hurt someone he doesn't know when the character establishes in this movie that he doesn't like to hurt people.
Yeah,
that's like 5 stars. You're out. That's just too bad. That's
me, Joe, and Blackhouse have been arguing about Sony for like the past 3 days.
Remember I told you last time they're going to be the new Transformers film series. They're the new Transformers because their movies are low quality.
Yeah, I think Sony.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, I think Sony swings and misses more times than they get on base, and I think it's time to think reevaluate.
I can't agree with that at all.
I can't agree with Avi. Avi needs to go. The dude, he's the one who botched the Spider-Man ones, and you can't tell me that TASM 3, if they would have done it, it would have been a good story. It is probably one of the worst concepts that I've ever seen in comic books.
I feel bad for Kraven the Hunter, honestly. That movie, I'm starting to see a trend.
El Muerto.
I'm having low expectations for that one.
Yeah, wait. Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, and El Muerto. I'm
very excited for El Muerto. That one I think is.
That's the one with Lil Bunny or whatever.
Yeah, I've never heard of Big Bunny before.
Who the fuck is Little Bunny?
Yeah, I've never heard of him before.
Who?
It's a crime-fighting luchador. I mean, like you got me. You've got me at the concept.
On 2 comics.
And that's a great thing. And that's a great thing. There's no backstory. That means you have freedom to do whatever you want.
But I'm asking who the fuck Little Bunny is.
He's apparently a rapper.
He's a Latino rapper.
Because they want to be diverse.
Why would he choose a name like that?
I don't know.
The movie 8 Mile B Rabbit.
Yeah, but that's Eminem, right? He ended up becoming Eminem, so you can't say anything.
No, but I'm talking about the character named B Rabbit. You know.
Yeah, I know.
B Rabbit. I don't know.
Hey,
Bunny. Oh no, Bad Bunny, whatever.
Like that just shows that they don't. I mean, I get it. I won't be surprised if El Muerto gets scrapped.
Andrew's a huge fan of the Sony stuff.
That's of all the ones they've announced. That's the one I'm most excited for.
The animated Spider-Verse movie is really, really good.
So good.
It's
yeah,
I
so
agree.
good.
That's gonna.
Right?
I agree.
That's gonna be solid.
But you have a lot of
advantages. Coming from them.
Yeah, you have a lot of advantages in animation.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have. Obviously, yeah, and I think Sony's done a good job with Into the Spider-Verse and the quality of it. I think just immaculate, over the top, like thumbs up. However,
and they might do the live action Miles Morales too from No Way Home.
However, no, in addition to, the video games Miles Morales and the PS4 Spider-Man also doing well.
Amazing.
However, now we go to the film side. Now we get a little bit greedier. And Sony does a couple movies with Marvel proper, and they try to go build a universe that runs parallel to the MCU. And people want to like it so bad that they fake it.
Mm-hmm.
People actually generally fake they liked Morbius. How? Why? I don't care what people like. It's all subjective, but you can tell when someone is faking it, though. Like, you just feel it, you know? Like, if someone
it
says,
for the sake of liking it.
I'll tell you straight up if I don't like it.
Yeah, Morbius wasn't half bad though. Like I
it
saw
had
Morbius.
decent things about it, you know?
It's
we shouldn't want.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm literally quoting myself to you because I'm gonna say we shouldn't want our movies to be half bad.
Yeah, but
right?
that's not a bad thing. I mean, because you're gonna we can't have a 1 to 10. Like there's got to be
studio
middle
that
ground.
made Spider-Man. Like,
right.
that built Spider-Man.
Right.
But now they're doing characters that they don't understand.
Well, this is on average, you're gonna watch an average okay movie more or less. I'm cool with watching average okay movies. That's not
me
my
too.
issue.
My favorite show is fucking Supernatural. Obviously, I'm okay with it.
All right, Ty, I gotta get going. Thanks for the invite, bro.
Yeah,
No problem,
man,
dude.
of course.
You guys take care.
Wednesday.
Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah, it was nice, meeting, talk to all you guys. Well, already know Black.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Take care, guys.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna make 20 videos about each other. Completely hating each other, but
No, I know I got to get off here soon myself to do dinner. So
Yeah,
I gotta do a couple of news
I got
videos.
one coming out for MSK already.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up one. It's at like 78%.
I got a Thai exposed video coming out, video essay of an hour exposing everything you've ever did wrong.
Yeah, I'm a racist bigot. Jarbo coming in
The
at the
Boston
fucking
bastard.
last
No.
minute.
I like to come in last, if you know what I mean.
Oh my!
That's what she said.
Jarbo, man.
That's what she likes.
He ignores me. I try to hit him up sometimes, talk to him. He just ignores me, just like my dad. It's okay.
Sorry. I quit smoking though.
What? What do you mean smoking?
I didn't know you were smoking.
No, I get it.
I actually did like 16 years ago, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
I'm here now, son.
It was a dad joke. Come on. It was a leave. He
is smoking.
He went to buy smokes.
Attention. It just doesn't work ever. That's how it works.
Jarbo, what did you think of Doctor Strange?
I liked it, man.
We're
I thought it was
wrapping up anyway.
Yeah, I can't stay long anyway. I'm really not feeling very good, but I wanted to jump on. I said I would.
Anyone that's leaving can leave, by the way. Feel free, because Jarbo's going to talk, and I'm not going to be able to outro you now.
What? That's not how this works.
What?
Oh, it kind of is.
They were literally just saying that they needed to leave.
You sounded like you were just like showing everyone the door, like, "Hey, everyone needs to leave. Get out."
No. Before Jarbo came in, they were like, "I gotta leave in 2 minutes to make
I
dinner."
don't feel loved.
Go make dinner like you said you were gonna.
No, I know. It was just I'm also trying to be nice and stuff too.
All right, Jarbo, what did you think?
I thought it was very good.
You don't think it needed a couple more minutes to flesh?
I think a lot of things need a couple more minutes. I think this one, in a couple areas definitely, and it could have also shortened a few areas as well. I think the big reveal scene, like the cameo stuff, could have probably been actually shortened. Yeah, and I wasn't a big fan of the of one of the casting. So
which one?
The main one everybody was talking about.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like he didn't want to be there, which might be the character in that moment, kind of like Sam Jackson in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Are you talking about the Reed Richards character?
I don't know if we were spoiling.
You want to say it?
Yeah,
I don't know if we were spoiling.
You could clearly tell.
We've been spoiling.
I don't know that. I haven't been listening. I've been with my kids. So I was trying to be polite. Well, in that case,
I think it was just the portrayal and how the character was written for that.
I'm a little upset that 616 Strange didn't deep dick 838 Christine before they left.
He should have.
He should have gave her an incursion.
He lost his wife. He lost his wife to a black man. That must hurt him. He's like, man, I lost my white wife to a black man. Oh God.
Yeah, but he can get another one.
I'm so dead right now. He should have hit that though.
He's like, my wife is getting BBC'd tonight.
I mean,
that's like being able to sleep with your ex without the baggage.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it's not so bad.
The baggage of other strangers, but
Yeah,
it was it was they had chemistry. They clearly wanted a bone. They should have just boned.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right after
every universe.
right after they impaled when Doctor Strange throws other Doctor Strange and impales him on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
She should have ran up and just jumped on him.
well,
Jumped his boat,
when she was like
literally.
Kind of like how
overseeing his.
Peacemaker needed it badly.
What did you give? I mean, was it I didn't think it was everything that I thought it was going to be. I thought this movie was going to be so much bigger. I know it was.
I
still,
did too.
I know it was still big, but I thought we were going to be traveling through the multiverse rather than going to one spot.
Because it just kind of feels like the title is anticlimactic because they only really go to like 3 universes. There's no real actual multiverse of madness. They only really go to 3
Well,
universes.
you can only do so much. I mean, not even in the time limit. Like, I mean, just in reality. Like, this isn't an episode of fucking Sliders.
No, you're
you
right.
know?
I think, but I think that's the problem. Is we do something in our heads. I called it the WandaVision effect. Like, we build something up in our head, and then it can't attain our fucking goals. That's like the WandaVision effect.
Well, I'll tell you this though. I'll give you guys an example. Like when I saw Deadpool 6 years ago, I didn't really care for it the first time I saw it. And the reason why was because I went in with high expectations. It's not that the movie didn't meet my expectations. It was that the marketing had shown us so much.
So much. They gave away that fucking entire film.
Yeah, they did.
In one little clip.
No, in like 18 clips.
They really did.
They released everything.
But then when I saw the movie a second time, it clicked. And at this point now, I think Deadpool basically is a 10 out of 10. I love that movie.
Yeah.
You know,
it hit every note.
Yeah,
note.
But we're not always. We're very inundated with marketing. We're very inundated with the propaganda that these studios put out, and they show. The thing is, it's also been like proven that audiences want to know the movie before they go in. They do, because it helps them. It helps them. They don't have to guess.
They get their brain ready for it, in a sense.
Yeah, I think they get like okay, this is what I'm expecting, and I'm happy with what I'm expecting. Cool. You know, and like that's about it. When they're challenged, and not that this movie challenged anyone, it didn't.
Like they get all excited, and then you're just like, oh.
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's like, and also now we're in this. We've been in this space for a while. Well, everything is either it's excellent or it's dog shit.
Yeah, there's no middle ground anymore.
Yeah, that's what I hate about movie fans. Is like it's. People don't even say if a movie's okay or average. They say it's trash. It's like, no, this is average. Like, trash is something like Catwoman, Batman, and Robin level. That's actual garbage.
Yeah, that's hot garbage.
Hold on, Joe. This is where you come in and say you like those movies.
Well, no, that's why I said it's not bad that Morbius was just okay. Because not everything has to be the best or the worst.
Fire, Jarmo.
No, I agree with you. I don't think I haven't seen Morbius yet. Is it on digital?
No, not yet.
On digital in like 2 weeks.
It'll be like 2 weeks.
I believe it's
okay.
actually the 17th, this coming Tuesday.
I just want to see it to see if they actually remove that Spider-Man line at the end.
It's Morbin time.
Oh,
like it's because in the end credit sequence of Morbius,
and he said he's gonna
like he's all like, oh, it's something to do with Spider-Man or whatever, and like or whatever line. And then apparently, like they removed it.
Did you actually enjoy the Venom movies as like guilty pleasure movies, or
the first one?
Yeah, guilty pleasures.
First one's a guilty pleasure. Yeah.
If you kind of like the Morbius the Venom movies, and you'll probably like this, but it's just.
I really enjoy the first Venom, though. I do. I really enjoy it. Like I don't think it's a great movie, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
The sequel, not so much.
I guess I'm guilty I guess I'm guilty of either good or bad in this situation because. I've been saying I don't like Venom, but listen, I can find I smiled and it was a fun ride, but it didn't lead me anywhere.
There was a day when we got really, really shitty superhero movies like Batman and Robin. And now like people will say Thor the Dark World sucked. And it's like, okay, Thor the Dark World wasn't great, but come on, look at.
I enjoyed it.
I've defended Thor, every single Thor movie,
right.
like all the beginning MCU movies. I defend them to the fucking my last breath because, you know, what I mean, they are fundamental to that Infinity Saga, right? Every single one of them.
Well, Sure, just because something doesn't like look like those bad movies doesn't mean they're not bad in different ways that'll just weigh them down, you know?
Yeah.
Just
like Ant-Man's obviously a little bit less fun.
yeah, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is terrible. I mean, it doesn't look like Catwoman, but it's bad in its own separate way. I think bad just goes in different areas.
Audiences
I
got
wouldn't call
spoiled.
Ant-Man and the Wasp bad. But...
No, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't call any MCU film bad by any standards, like or by my normal standards.
Or even like the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan.
No, that is fucking garbage.
Yeah, I agree. That's terrible.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna kind of defend that movie.
No, don't.
There's elements of it. There's elements of a decent film in there, but let me explain.
Josh Trank is a fucking.
It wasn't Trank. It wasn't Trank. I blame Kinberg. I really do blame Kinberg.
Yeah, he's pretty bad too.
All right, because like Dark Phoenix was,
I
I liked Dark Phoenix, but it was very mid. It was very middle of the road.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Like I will say this though, as far as like final act, like action sequences go, third act sequences, Dark Phoenix's train sequence, it's very difficult to top that.
Yeah.
That as far as like what we've wanted out of these, like I was in the theater watching it, and when they get to that train scene and everyone goes full ham.
Yep.
I'm like, you never see this where they all just use their powers to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, the train sequence is by far one of the craziest things in
and that to me right there elevates that movie like far above like X-Men 3 The Last Stand and stuff, right?
Or even Apocalypse.
God,
I got something to show you guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Apocalypse was one of the worst things I've like.
I saw it once, and that was it.
Yeah, I like Apocalypse. That's got my favorite scene in any of the X-Men movies.
Is it the scene in the forest?
The Quicksilver scene. The Quicksilver.
Oh, right.
No, I thought
which they did do.
That's a great scene.
I thought the Days of Future Past Quicksilver scene was much better.
I thought the Days of Future Past one was so unexpected.
Yeah,
that it hit. And then the second one, you were kind of waiting for it, but the fact that they had it with the Eurythmics, and like it just looked fantastic. The Dark Phoenix one was a little underwhelming in my opinion.
I think they knew that they couldn't do what
the budget was definitely less for Dark Phoenix. Yeah. Like so you can tell by those costumes. Simon Kimber is like, ah, shit. What I got, like $20?
Or the fact that Jennifer Lawrence bails. Like literally in the movie bails and in real life bailed.
Yeah. Dude, but her makeup was so bad.
Clear.
Clear. Dude, you could literally tell those movies were going away. Right when they made X-Men Apocalypse, you knew those movies were just going down the crapper.
I got that Blu-ray too, Charlie.
Nice. Well, MSK, dude, but at the end of Days of Future Past, when it teased Apocalypse, I mean, Days of Future Past is like up there with X-Men 2.
Yeah,
you know,
I like Days of Future Past is better.
It's like
anything in the X-Men universe.
It really is like the best one, you know. And then you go, okay, Singer did a great job, and then you get to like Apocalypse, and you're like, what?
Was he didn't make any sense? Like it was just bad. It was like if
honestly, I didn't hate the X-Men movies at all.
Like if you come up for watching Days of Future Past and you come to watching X-Men Apocalypse, there's a massive quality dip there. Like it's so, massive. And I don't know how people just don't notice those things. You know, like these are very noticeable.
Well, they tried a reboot and they didn't cast well.
Yeah. They tried every movie was a jump in a decade and the actors didn't look any older.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a lot of, you know, you go back to the 1960s for freaking First Class, and then the 70s for Days of Future Past. But here's the thing, though. What was I thinking of? It's like I just totally freaking spaced on what I was going to say.
I always looked. Well, I'll see if you can catch up. But I always thought that the X-Men stuff. I don't know. I kind of related to how I look at DC right now. It seemed like they were always running at the starting line, and they just could never really start. It was always missing something, and it never went anywhere that it never got anywhere in my head. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking retarded.
No, I mean, I'll put it like this.
I can't explain it. It's fucking weird, but it was always missing something.
Yeah. When I was watching Doctor Strange, when it got to the Illuminati part, my first thought was like, now this is starting to feel like a Fox movie.
Which one?
Know? Like in Doctor Strange, when they got to the Illuminati with like Professor X and Reed Richards and everything else, I'm like,
I could feel
feeling like a Fox movie.
But I think Days of Future Past, that because everyone thought, I mean, you know, the storyline proper ended with Logan and, you know, the death of Xavier, but doesn't Days of Future Past more line up with what we got in the Illuminati? Because at the end of Days of Future Past is when he gets his first hover chair, right? Like that.
Yeah, no, it is more in line. Like you could kind of tell that there are multiverses. I guess you could all different timelines, whatever.
And you could use that same universe too if you wanted to.
I don't think that the Patrick Stewart we saw in the Illuminati was the same Patrick Stewart.
He wasn't.
Possibly not.
I'm talking about the Days of Future Past one, like that, the ending of that after the fact, right? When they reboot it at the end, and then all of a sudden First Class happens. That felt more in line, and he calls back the same line that he said to himself. You know what I mean? It all made more sense, but also it could even just be the animated one.
They were very careful not to mention that there were mutants on that Earth. They were very careful.
Entirely different, right? Just a whole different universe that we've never seen before. That could be 838 as well.
Well, Ty, I'm going to say thank you for having me on, of course.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice meeting you all. You guys all have a good night. I'll see you guys again hopefully soon.
I'm really excited for Thor, but I'm wondering if the multiverse storyline will continue or not. Like, what, or are we going to go a different way with Thor? Is it going to have anything to do with anything, or is it just the God Butcher?
It's leading to Kang. Let's be fair.
I thought Kang was going to be a bigger villain this phase, but I don't know if they're building up to it.
They introduced him. He's going to be coming up in Aquaman and Ant-Man.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah,
dude. I at this point I'm really not feeling good. So I'm trying to. My brain is getting wires will be crossed a bit. But I think they're going to show like a bit more. They got it because look, the thing is, we can't rush right into the next villain. You know what I mean? Right. Like this is a reset phase. This is a reset phase, and they've given us a lot. We've had an overabundance of Marvel content because of COVID.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. Like I haven't even seen Eternals yet, and it's not even on my radar to go and do.
Right.
So I haven't cared. Like I'll watch Doctor Strange like 100 times probably before I even care about watching Eternals.
Right.
It's not much there.
I think Eternals is going to factor into Thor because
probably
I have there's the Gore connection.
There's like but there's also Guardians holiday special has Kingo. So I'm sure it's all going to connect.
They're going to have a hard time, I think, topping Wanda as the villain. I think she's the best villain they've had in the MCU so far. I mean, God, she's such a badass. But
it's also like her storyline is just like 2 steps forward, 3 back. 2 steps forward, 3 back. It's like, is she a hero or a villain?
I mean, okay, so that's something that a lot of people have argued about and everything, and I've seen it like both ways where. You know, like one of my friends called the movie like dog shit and like was like, they totally like, he said that Doctor Strange. He says that about everything though.
There's that one guy you always in that thread. It's that same guy you always go back and forth in the thread. I saw
on Twitter. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine in real life, but like his takes are always shit. Just be like Neil Breen sucks.
It's so bad. Like he's the one guy who will say something sucks, but will never actually give you an explanation on why it sucks. It's just
no. He will, but like he likes to debate like I do, but it won't go anywhere. Like him and I will just we'll get drunk one night and get into it.
Yeah. That's how I used to be with Justice, because he just hated everything.
I don't understand how you can like movies, say you like movies, and then think everything is trash.
And then every single thing that comes out, you're like, it's like, really, your standards must be really fucking high, dude.
It's like you can like Under Pressure and also Ice Ice Baby. It's okay.
Yeah. Listen, dude, I know every fucking line to the High School Musical movies, except the third one. I didn't see the third one, but I also really like fucking.
Now I know why you're single.
Yeah, I'm not single.
Yeah.
That's me.
Don't lie.
No, I fucking karaoke that shit.
Well,
dude,
I karaoke Spice Girls. I don't give a fuck, you know.
Like, people want to watch masterpieces all the time. It's like you can't watch a masterpiece every single time. It's not possible. Most movies in general aren't masterpieces. They'll just be either good or okay.
Yeah,
just
but audiences have gotten super fucking spoiled by Marvel. No,
not really. Not by Marvel. It's not Marvel's fault.
No,
that they've been consistent.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm
just saying I don't even think audiences have gotten spoiled. It's not the audiences necessarily. Yeah, it's okay. Think of it like this:
the fucking Snyder Cut community isn't like.
I look. I have my beef. with elements of the Snyder Cut community that is very well published at this point. But no, I think, look, man, it's not that audiences are spoiled. It's like, look, the studios have always followed where the money is. Go back 30 years. Seriously, go back to the early 90s. Hollywood was making more money than it had ever made in its entire life. I mean, they're dropping $3-4 million for a screenplay that they would never produce. They would just lock it in a vault.
At fucking Lord of the Rings, the budget.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, even the budget on that, Two Towers was only 91 million, I think, for that budget.
No,
like,
no, I'm talking about the series that's coming out on.
Oh
Amazon.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's a tech billionaire, funding that shit.
It's crazy though. I love it.
And apparently the test footage they showed off the other day to some fans got good reactions, so that's pretty good.
That's good. To hear.
But my whole thing though is like Hollywood is always risk averse. I mean, we always know that, right? Certain things don't work, they freak out. DC is a prime example of that. But the other side of that too is that they're spending more money and people are having more options. And there is a paradigm shift in how we view content. Yeah. All right. And like how we watch stuff. But the thing that Marvel has done, don't think of it like it's a series of films. Think of it like it's an ongoing television series. Right. Where you've got your seasons. Those are your phases. But what they do is they create must-see TV. And every time they might stumble or fall, they don't run back and hide behind mommy's apron strings.
I see what you did.
Do you think the general audience, the general movie-going audience has changed? Because that's the thing. Like, I've been doing like recent box office reports and stuff like that, and it seems like a lot of people, like the general audience themselves, wants to consume a different type of movie.
But they're also not. But yeah, they do. See, it's not that they want to. It's like I worked at a drive-in and we would do double features all the time. You know, and so like we would have just a weird, like we'd have weird mixes because of how we got, like when we had Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Do you know what our co-feature was? No. Rob Schneider's The Hot Chick. They were both New Line, and because of the length of The Two Towers, we needed something short. So they said, "How about The Hot Chick?" Which, by the way, is a very funny movie. If you haven't seen it,
that's a classic.
It's a classic. It's a very we'd never say Rob Schneider in classic, but The Hot Chick is probably his best one.
Yeah, dude, the animals also. I like. Deuce Bigelow. Oh man,
I have a weakness for the animal because Colleen Haskell was.
Really, you're gonna pull out the Survivor card? All right, I can't. I can't blame you, but we also got the "You Can Do It" for the first time.
I don't mind the animal as well.
No, that was the Water Boy. That's my bad.
Oh yeah,
But the "You Can Do It," You Can Do It was reversed in that one, where Adam Sandler was the "You Can Do It" guy in the animal.
Yeah,
that movie was bad.
Flash video, by the way.
I had a serious crush on Colleen Haskell about 20 years ago.
I understand. Hey man, listen. I get you. I watched Survivor season 1 too.
Oh God, Survivor. I think I got through one season, maybe. Like my mom was watching it. It was never really for me. Like those kind of shows are never really for me.
You can thank the guy who created it because that's how we got our last president. So
yeah. Wait, what?
Yay!
Wait, what?
Jeff, the guy behind Survivor, dude, is the guy who was behind The Apprentice.
Actually, that's a good idea. Why don't we just get all the presidential candidates, put them on an island, and let them vote each other out?
Oh, dude, that would be.
I want to. Yeah, man. Bernie would kill them all. By the way, he would just. You'd be amazed at what Bernie can do.
Yeah,
I learned.
He's surprising.
Poor peasants can just sit here on this island and eat coconuts.
Marco,
I have a monkey.
It's time for
the
you.
monkey's name is Paco.
Do you think that they can live on an island
at your house?
What's up?
Do you think that, like, if we did it differently, like we were like a ridiculous, weird, fucked up society, do you think that would honestly be a better way to pick a president?
It's better than the Electoral College, but yeah.
I think it's better.
Be worse.
At least we know which one's the strongest.
Well, I mean,
they know how to survive. We got it. I think it's a much better way.
There you go. There you go.
Fucking popularity contest.
We turn it into a battle royale, right?
Think about it like this: every fucking at a minimum, every 4 years, the most important job, the guy is new at the job. Has never done it before. You can't be a doctor like that. But now you give someone the fucking most powerful position in arguably the world, and every 4 years it's somebody new and is, learning the job. It seems, I don't know.
Well, that's kind of the argument that people make for senators and for House and for representatives.
Yeah, that's also
because the longer that they're in office, they can enact policy that they build towards and stuff.
Yeah,
I see your point on that one, but it's like
it goes both ways, of course.
Yeah, it goes both ways. But I guess we should probably round it back to entertainment because people probably don't want to talk politics.
I do not.
This isn't my show. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just writing in Mr. T for every election from now till he dies. And then when he dies,
I mean, he survived COVID. He could probably survive a lot.
After he passes, I'm gonna write in Weird Al Yankovic.
All right, so
Ralph Wiggum. It should be Ralph Wiggum.
Am I gonna get in trouble for playing this?
What are we playing?
This clip from TMZ?
They might.
All right, well, we can try.
I play clips from TMZ all the time.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna share it. You guys can continue though. It's about the Flash, but I don't want to. I also said that I didn't want to add to this exposure.
Is there anything going on with it? I haven't even paid attention.
We're being flashed, and it's exposure.
I keep seeing people calling it the flush. Why? Why?
Because it's funny.
Yeah, I fucking hate you, Jarvo.
I actually made an image about that. Let me see if I can find it.
I really, I'm looking forward to it. I know Ezra's troubled, but I enjoy his Barry Allen. I don't
think Ezra's that troubled. I think I keep trying to like say they or whatever. I think Ezra's just got like issues with stupidity.
Maybe a little bit too much money. Like,
I don't think Ezra's got that much money.
Well, obviously he's got to be having a change of lifestyle. He's been in I'm sorry. Fuck.
He actually uses he/him pronouns. I'm not sure.
Well, no, that has since changed, and
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that. I just been gender.
No, it's one of the. I don't think Ezra necessarily cares, but it's like you never know who's listening and how they're going to react.
Cancel.
Right.
Yeah, you canceled. You canceled, Ty.
At this point, Ezra might be the type to come to my house. Who knows? I mean.
If you reach out on Instagram, apparently they'll follow you back. So that could be something.
Well, here's what I want to know about Ezra. He was in the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, he's got to have money, right?
Yeah. So how come this guy can't afford a hotel and has to keep having people put him up?
Some people just like to have. Some people are nomadic like that. They don't want to have possessions.
Yeah, Elon sold all of his shit. And like lives in like a teeny converted camper. I heard
he didn't sell Twitter. Hey yo,
yeah.
God, not yet. I can't.
So
Twitter's gonna be a nightmare.
It already is a nightmare. Let's not forget that.
This is gonna be even worse.
Yeah, let's not pretend Twitter. Yeah, it's not a green pasture as it is. So
it's full of a lot of unstable people that spend too much time on the internet, and then a bunch of people who just actually decent.
Yeah,
I logged out.
They are eccentric, and they always have been. So I guess it's just on a it's on the radar now, when it wasn't before, because they had been in trouble with the choking thing back in whatever, and that blew over pretty easily. Actually,
I was convinced that was a joke. Like that looked.
There was so much speculation around that it didn't even. You could argue it either way, and no one really was like, okay, yeah. Everyone just kind of agreed that it was a wash, I guess, because other people would have been canceled for something like that. Like, say that was like Will Smith that did that, canceled, right? We see how we treat these big stars. We treat them like they're literal gods. It's very uncomfortable, actually. Like the Snyder worship, it's very uncomfortable at points. I love Zack Snyder.
But don't you know what Zack has been through? All the strife.
I know, but I get it. I get why they love it, but we put these people on far too much pedestals. They literally have the same stuff we have, just like they have more material.
I've actually lost a lot of respect for Zack Snyder. Like I respect him less. Well, the reason is because his more fanatical followers who start all the trouble online, he never steps in and says, "Hey guys, cool it." Never.
Yeah, I suppose you could. Yeah,
there. Bring up my screen. The flush.
I hate you. I really do.
I made that very quickly one night on stream, I think. So it's very stupid. There you go, folks. There you have it. That's my meme magic. It's
We're gonna
very
wrap up
stupid.
in a couple minutes, all right?
Yeah, because I gotta go lay down. I'm starting to kind of feel it, but
Yeah, I got work in the morning. I love you guys. I love having these conversations.
I
But
got a Better Call Saul that's begging to be watched.
I was actually really excited for Superman and Lois on my day off. Like the day after it comes out, I was excited for it, and then I realized, oh shit, they're on break till next week, and I hate that. I hate fucking CW style. Pisses
I'm
me off.
so angry.
oh,
at the
you just
CW
want it
right
all
now.
dumped at once? Is that it?
No. That's a different story. The CW does it like so they have a break every 3 months. That's like multiple weeks. So the season's split up into like 4, and then they do these little tiny breaks by week.
Yeah.
And it throws you off. It's not consistent.
They went
So-
on a break, came back, went on anher break. Then
Yeah,
they came back.
I've been watching the CW for like 10 years, at least 10 back even before. What was it called before? I forget. WB.
WB.
Yeah, it was just WB, right?
Yeah.
So-
Well, it was WB and UPN. They merged together.
So, they've been doing this for years. They're one of the only fucking. I kind of like how the streaming and shit does it, where it comes out and it's like a movie. It's already been made. CW, like they're still filming their season halfway through it, and it's just like I don't know. There's too many variables, so it just happens. The way it comes out is very.
Well, I really do feel that we are going to see the CW shows get
Yeah, of course. I
get
think they're
yeeted.
done.
I think even Riverdale is going to get canceled. The
But
cast has
but
actually
what
been
was-
adamant about wanting to get
Yeah.
canceled.
What's the CW gonna do? Is it just a
They're selling.
total
They're-
rehaul?
Yeah, they're going to sell.
'Cause
So
if
here's
they
well,
get rid
the-
of everything, it's like, all right, you do not have a TV station anymore.
well, but they're selling it. They're I think it's what Paramount and CBS and Warner Brothers are going to sell to. I think right now Nexstar is who they're talking about taking
the
it
CW
over.
will no longer exist. Everything's on HBO Max.
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
whatever
But
that
that's
is.
been the point
Except
anyway.
They canceled a bunch of shows that didn't go to HBO. Like they canceled. Like Legends was my favorite Arrowverse show, and they canceled that with a cliffhanger. It's like
See,
it
Yeah,
needs
that
to,
they shouldn't have done that.
wrap
They
up.
shouldn't have done that.
I don't see the point of it's not a bad thing to still have a TV like station, but the way that they do their IPs need to be different. It's like that shit needs to stay. If it's like Riverdale, it can stay on CW. Like you can keep doing those kind of quality shows, but the superhero shit, all those big budget shows need to be on like HBO Max now. I just don't think it works the other way.
The one I'm really hoping HBO comes to the rescue of is they announced several months ago that J. Michael Straczynski was coming back to do a reboot of Babylon 5 for the CW, and I was so ecstatic. I just was like, I couldn't have been more excited. And then they pulled the plug on that because of the CW sale, and I'm like, oh, at least
I'm
take
wondering-
HBO, man.
I'm wondering if that Powerpuff Girls show will ever come out.
Oh no, they've
So dead. Like they filmed it. I feel so bad. I would never watch it, just to be clear. But that show's just been in such tandem like this whole time.
well, I know Chloe Bennett left. And and like the
ridiculous
script
idea.
came out, like parts of the script came out, and it was so bad.
It's such a stupid idea. That is not a live action worthy show.
But the fact that like Bubbles is like having sex, you know,
it makes me very uncomfortable.
it's just
Well,
like
I want to make a dark, depressing live action remake of the PJ Masks where they're in their 30s and Connor's dead and
Oh,
Al,
gosh.
Al there's a Catboy and Owlette are trying to deal with their grief.
Anyway, that was okay. You can make that petition, I guess. I really want to see. Do you guys remember that fan film that came out for Power Rangers? And it
Yeah.
was super fucking
No.
dark.
yeah,
I
it
want
was
that
good.
to be a real thing. I've been saying I kind of like the Saban Power Rangers because it was a little darker, but I would have went full rated R on it. I think it would be super cool. I hope that gets done.
I had a lot of
Okay.
fun with the
I liked
the
it.
2017 movie.
I liked it. I thought it was a good starting point.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard nothing but good things. Everybody I know who's a Power Rangers fan who saw it really liked that movie.
So I'm not sure what happened with that because now they're rebooting it into this. It's just in like a limbo, and I keep hearing about it like every once in a while. But I think the Power Rangers franchise, it's one of those oddballs that the idea can go from TV to film, and you can do something with it like this. But I think the adaptation shit's getting old. I think they're running out of shit to reboot, and maybe the nostalgia's going away. I suppose, if that's a thing.
For Power Rangers, or
no, for everything.
For everything.
For just everything. There's the recast. That's what we're getting all the time is something rebooted. It's continuation, and it's just I don't know if a lot of these things that they want to do are worth doing. Powerpuff Girls. There's other ones.
See, actually, we're not gonna see because IPs are not going to go away. Like like when they talked about the Warner Brother Discovery merger, there was like all the talk about, the IPs we have access to. It's about finding the IPs that can make them the most money.
Right.
And in Warner Brothers case, it's not DC. Sorry, it's Game of Thrones and it's Harry Potter. Those are the two they should focus on. And House of the Dragon, when that comes out in August, is going to be effing huge. And it's going to be torn to shreds by the usual suspects, but
obviously.
But it's like I think a lot of people are really going to dig it.
Remember that feeling? It was like mid game. I guess it was like maybe season 3. I think it's when it started. I remember for Game of Thrones that everyone on Sunday, you knew where they were. Like everyone was always talking about it the next day on Monday, like at work or whatever. It was like a cultural phenomenon.
For me, it was season 3 because I think the ending of season 2 was really strong.
Yeah,
because I remember when dropped in season 1 in 2011. I didn't watch it until like a number of months after it had come out. We just marathoned the 10 episodes and loved it.
Too young.
Yeah, you were too young.
It had the core. It had the core audience, but word of mouth for that show by season. That's why I said season 3. Like by the start of season 3, every single person was like on Sunday night was like,
let me give you some rough numbers, right, to show you how popular the show was even in the end. By the mid seasons, like 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there, the producers had talked about how like the show was pirated, and the show when it started getting popular on HBO was like 4 million people watching,
right?
And then they're like, we have 4 million people watching, and we found out that there were 4 million downloads that we know of pirates. Now it was a lot more than 4 million, because there's a lot of places to get stuff, but by the series finale or the final season. They had like 19 million people watching through the HBO app.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Another like 19 million pirated.
Ooh.
So
that's
I mean,
that's that. You know what I mean? That's like
that's insane. That's insane. Like those numbers are what keeps it around. And yeah, people are like, oh, I hate the last season. Like, no, it's like you know what? It's not bad. And I hate having to always like Daenerys's turn. People like
foreshadowed the whole fucking
from
series.
Episode from the first season onward. It was foreshadowed
in the first fucking.
It's just the way they did it and how it just kind of felt like
because it was so unexpected. It was like the Red Wedding. It was like the Red
You could see it happening towards the end,
but nobody wanted to accept it. That's really what it boiled down to. It was like watching. It'd be like watching Luke Skywalker or something like that. Like it turned bad, and you're like, what? But then again, it was always foretold.
Not give a fuck.
True. I mean, it was like since the first episode, don't be like your father. It's just like the same thing that's been portrayed out the whole show. It's
you could see the two's paths like that. That's the good thing about these kind of shows. Even Lost did it at points. Where they have a lot of storylines going on, but there's like 1 or 2 that are the main ones.
I'll say like 3.
Yeah,
three
and
main
then
stories.
Throughout the season, they're starting to merge and cross paths, and that was Daenerys and fucking Jon.
And then also it was the Night's Watch story, Daenerys, and then obviously the stuff with Winterfell and kind of the main capital stuff.
So you could see the paths coming together. And then when she made the switch, I was because that was probably one of the
Everyone
coolest
just
moments.
was,
Because you as an audience, you're like, no, that's not what I want to happen, but it did. And you have to fucking live with it.
It was just
awesome.
unfortunate. It was just
I
like
love
unfortunate that she gave in. Like she didn't think
No,
like,
it's great.
You
It was
could tell.
awesome.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, I definitely love kind of like turning just that, like seeing the change in her facial features during that scene. Was like, oh shit,
She was doing it for the wrong reasons, and we knew it.
Yes. But like the dead silence and also just the chaos. That was amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a theory about television that I call the 4-season rule. And for the record, I wasn't a viewer of Game of Thrones. I've never really been a fan of the fantasy genre. I like sci-fi superheroes. I can never get into Lord of the Rings I mean, once you bring in wizards and dragons, that's kind of where you lose me. But the 4-season rule, I've always noticed whatever show you're talking about, it's somewhere around season 4 that you start hearing people go, well, that show used to be good, but it sucks now.
Yeah.
And my theory is that people in season 1, 2, 3, they're willing to go along with the ride. They don't know where the show's taking them, and they're willing to just watch it and go along with the ride. But at a certain point, they start getting expectations, and they start writing the story in their head. And if the writers don't go the way they expect or want the story to go, that's where it suddenly turns into, this show sucks now.
Yeah,
and maybe it's not impossible. Maybe the show does suck now, but I think it's also very likely that it's just not going where you thought it was going to go.
Yeah, and
I mean, like, I'll put it to this is a weird example, but there was like one character relationship in Downton Abbey that they were like really, really building to, and it gets to the series finale, and like they still had not hooked this couple up, even though it's literally right there. And they had this moment in the very last shot of the show. It was New Year's Eve. The ball drops, right? Everyone is doing the kissing because they have the mistletoe and whatnot, the whatever. And I'm like, there's your moment to just establish that these two loved each other, and you could leave it at that. That would make the fans very happy. Never did it. Fucking finally, the movie comes out, and the movie finally addresses it. Like a couple years later, I was like, God damn it. Now there's a new movie coming out, and I'm so excited.
Okay.
I love Downton.
You're into that show?
I love Downton Abbey.
Man,
it is
my favorite movie
so
of all
good.
time is Titanic, so I don't hate on anything.
No, you can't, I love Titanic too, but the thing
Titanic's
with Downton,
my favorite movie of all time.
If you like movies or shows that are like with well written characters, and like they're short, they're like 8-episode seasons and a Christmas episode, and they like the first season is the lead up to World War II. World War I. This is a lead up to starts with the sinking of the Titanic, and then it ends with the start. It ends with the start of World War I. But it's all about like British aristocracy, lords and ladies living in this house, and it's like upstairs, downstairs. You have your family, right, and then you have your servants, and and then their interactions. Season 2 is definitely like where it's its most soap opera-y, because it is a bit of a soap opera. But like there was one character in season 4 who gets sexually assaulted, and I was furious when it happened. I felt like anger, right? I was like so upset that happened to actually I like that character a lot. And so like the show really makes you like get into it. I'll give you guys a prime example, then I'll dip because I have to go. But like
I gotta go too, so I'm gonna wrap it up after your story.
Sure. In 2016, Review Tech USA, that YouTuber?
Yep.
Okay, so he was working with Intel. He had a sponsorship with Intel, and his son was getting ready to be born, so he couldn't travel to Seattle for Penny Arcade. But they had put him up in this hotel for like 5 days. So he asked me if I wanted to go because I lived 3 hours south in Portland. And I was like, all right, yeah, cool. I'll do your whatever it is, free hotel, free trip to Seattle. Hell
yeah, fuck it.
I don't
care
hotel.
Where we're going. If it's free, I don't care where we're going.
And PAX tickets, PAX tickets, hell yeah. So we went up there. Well, it was Labor Day weekend 2016, and PBS was running a Downton Abbey marathon, all 8 seasons. Started on Friday, ended on Monday. My girlfriend and I actually watched.
Didn't go out?
No, we did a little bit, but when we were back at the hotel, Downton was on, and we would watch Downton.
That's so funny that you say that, because Game of Thrones, I was on a trip to New Jersey. I'm sorry. I was working with Verizon, and I used to travel to cities and survey people in the community to see if it was worth putting in the fiber optic cables, because they were really expensive. I think per quarter mile, it was like $1 million. So they wanted to know if the communities were switching, like if people are willing to accept and potentially switch out of Comcast or Cox or whatever. And it was on a work trip that I finally started watching Game of Thrones, and I think I like called out sick one day just to like continue watching it because I was so hooked. And I had 3 seasons to watch, or 2 seasons.
When the Red Wedding mortified my girlfriend so much, she did not want to continue watching.
Yeah, that was a brutal moment.
Yeah, so we didn't watch the season finale of season 3. She didn't want to. Season 4, season 5 came and went. She didn't want to. Really? Season 6 starts up. She's in North Carolina on a business trip. Ends up watching like the first episode of season 6 because it was on. She calls me and she's like, "I just watched Game of Thrones." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Oh my God, it's so good. We got to play catch up when I get home."
Yeah, and you're like, "Woo!"
I was like, "Finally," because I didn't play catch up on my own. I didn't watch it without her. So I didn't watch it for a couple of seasons. So all of my friends were talking about it, and I'm just like, I'm like, I just don't know if I want to watch it. But yeah, but
I was gonna say, well, I was gonna say about the what is it, Downton Abbey? They're coming out with the movie in a little bit, like less than a month.
I think didn't you say that?
Yeah, it comes out this month. Yeah, I think it comes out next week or whatever. And it's a weird story because
I would like to hear what you think about it after it comes out.
I may not get the chance to go see. I have to see it with my girlfriend. So if we don't get the chance to go see it in theaters, we're definitely gonna wait till it comes out on home video and watch it. But I want to see it in theaters. I'm gonna try to do a date night if we can get a babysitter. That's the hard part right now.
If you fly me out, I'll babysit.
Yeah, that's.
How much is that movie? That would be like really expensive.
That's a really expensive thing, yeah.
But anyway, everyone's got to go. I'm getting tired, and I just want to go home and sleep. So, with that being said,
I have one question for Matt before he goes.
Oh man,
I just want one quick question. I'm gonna peel the curtain open here and peep out from my real life just a little bit and say, I'm desperately looking for commercial landscapers in your state. If you know of any, could you message me with names?
I live in a pretty big state, so I have no idea. Like,
we're looking for landscapers all over the state.
I don't know any. There's someone who keeps leaving like advertisements and like a little baggie at the edge of my driveway.
Oh, that's how they get them.
If you message me the name and phone number, it would help me immensely.
I have to look to see if I still have it. Usually, we live in the forest, like literally the forest. So it's like there's not a lot of landscaping that I do because I'm lazy and I like the forest aesthetic. So
yeah,
I also don't have the money. I don't have the money for landscaping.
I live in a city.
Landscaping. You gotta do.
You want something crazy? I saw like an animal that got run over the other day. Right, it happens all the time. Possums, raccoons, you name it. It was a beaver. A beaver got smashed in the road. And I'm like, where the how for one? 2, I've been living here for years. I haven't seen a beaver. There's no dams anywhere. Why is there a beaver that's just rocking around like this? It's next to a lake, but it was like, how did this happen? I don't even know.
That's weird.
I don't even know. I'm like, okay.
That would be like me seeing one.
Yeah, it's like someone have a pet beaver that I just don't know about. I
Dude,
mean,
did you know? I mean, people are crazy. They have all kinds of pets. And I was just listening to Rogan, and he was like, he said something. It was one of his bits. There's more tigers in captivity in Texas than in the world. Like more people have fucking pet tigers in Texas than in the whole world's population. Like there's more in Texas tigers than tigers live in the wild. Total. And that's pretty uncomfortable.
There are.
That's a weird thing.
Tiger King talked about that.
The whole thing. I put the dots together afterwards. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because people are doing these weird fucking hillbilly zoos. And they're on Netflix now. So cool.
Sorry, that's like the hillbilly zoo. That's a good one.
Hillbilly zoos. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap up. Make sure to share the video, like, subscribe, all that shit. I'm getting really tired too, and I can't talk anymore. So we'll see you next time.